Flashes host the Huron Lady Tigers. Stick around because we got pregame action coming your way next.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back into Hass Gymnasium, live and free this evening as the Willard Lady Flashes host the Huron Lady Tigers. My name's Hayden Gray, and alongside me this evening, the one and only G-Man Garrett Parlay. Now, Garrett, we have got a Sandusky Bay Conference showdown tonight. Two teams on different sides of the conference right now. What are some ideas you have heading into this evening?
Well, obviously, Huron coming in. They haven't had a winning season, I believe, since 2014, and they're looking to get there now, sitting at 6-3 overall, 2-0 in the SBC. So they're on the up and up, and Willard obviously a perennial powerhouse, but this year just haven't been able to add up to expectations. 2-9 overall. So they're going to look to try to upset Huron here on home court, and you never know. Anything can happen.
Exactly, and as you said, as we take a look at our matchup spotlight, the Huron Lady Tigers 6-3 on the season, undefeated in conference play. The Willard Lady Flashes 2-9, just 1-3 in the conference so far this season. And taking it a history class, Willard swept the Huron Lady Tigers both times with considerable margins of victory last season. But as you said, a lot of talent graduating, a completely different year for them. And Huron, you know, looking for that winning season right now on the right path. So we've got a completely different look into things this year than the previous season.
Yeah, Willard obviously, I believe they only lost 4 games last year, so they swept Huron, and it was pretty marginal too. Willard dominated them in both matchups, but this season, Huron looking to have their first winning season, as I mentioned, since 2014, and so far so good. New year, Hayden, new Huron.
And that's exactly what we'll do. We'll take a look at the team spotlight for Huron real quick. Coached by Darius Schaefer. They're currently on a 3-game win streak, and they recently beat Sandusky 36-35 to keep that going. They're undefeated in conference play and looking for that first winning season. We're going to take a quick pause and throw it down for the national anthem. Back after that quick break to honor our country, and we're going to go ahead and dive in. We're going to go back to that Huron spotlight, and we're going to take a closer look at someone who's going to be leading that charge for Huron specifically. And that's going to be none other than Ebert. She's averaging 10.9 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 2.8 steals per game. Third in the SBC in steals per game. Garrett, she is leading the way for the Lady Tigers so far this season.
Yeah, they're a very good defensive team as well. I believe they hold their opponents to under 30% from the field, and that's a pretty good number. And same for their three-point defense too. They only allow teams to shoot around 13%, and they rebound the ball well. So they're a tough out, and they're on the up and up here in the SBC conference.
Yeah, you know, Huron really, changing their perception in this conference and looking to be on the upper echelon of things this season. But now we're going to throw it over and take a closer look to the opponent this evening, those Willard Lady Flashes. And as we dive into the team spotlight, they are head coached by Barry Fall. They lost their last game to Mansfield Senior 61-43 on December 30th. They went 21-4 last season, something we talked about, beating Huron 72-28 and 61-38 last season. So definitely not too accustomed to this feeling of just being 2-9, and they do have a difficult road ahead after tonight. They're going to face 8-3 Bellevue and 7-4 Margaretta in 2 of their next 3 games. So a bit of change in the water for the Flashes.
Yeah, when you think Willard High School girls hoops, you don't typically think of a losing season. Last year they were conference champions here in this conference, and they're just not used to this. And it's a rebuilding year for Coach Barry and his staff, and it's just a different look, but they got some scorers on this team, and with a head coach like that, with that kind of experience too, and some varsity returning lettermen for the Lady Flashes, they can do some damage if they can just get in the postseason play and maybe upset a really good team.
Exactly, and as you brought up a scorer for the Willard Lady Flashes, let's dive in and take a closer look at Grace Hall, our player spotlight this evening. She leads the way with 10.6 points per game, averaging an assist and a half per game and 3 rebounds as well. So Grace Hall, one of those seniors that's going to be leading the way for them. Garrett, what do you feel that she at least brings being a senior on this squad that has been a part of those perennial programs?
Yeah, she's definitely one of the leaders, being the senior too, and she played a key role in those teams a couple years ago too. I remember last year against Margaretta. She was one of the key contributors on that squad, and she's going to continue to be the leader and the leading scorer here tonight if they want any chance of winning this one.
And then speaking of keys, let's go ahead and dive right into our keys to victory before we get too close to tip-off here. Starting with the Huron Lady Tigers, controlling the paint and getting into transition. You want to break those down a little bit for us, G-Man.
Yeah, I believe Willard is last in the conference in rebounding, so obviously you got to control the paint against a team that doesn't do it very well, and I believe Huron is on top of the conference in rebounding. So Huron, do what they do, get in transition, and they should be able to get this one a big win, but I think Willard and that staff's going to have something to say about it.
And again, those key players, Mia Hurst up there at 10.9 points per game, as well as Ava Weinstaffer at 7.2. And quickly, we're going to take a look at the keys to the game for Willard. It's going to be play through their leaders and control the tempo. Garrett, what do they need to do with those two keys to, get back on the right track and show that they still kind of, can get the upper hand on Huron in this rivalry?
Well, obviously, turnovers can really kill any team in any kind of momentum. They got to play through their leaders, as we mentioned, Hayden earlier. Leading scorer Grace Hall, as we've talked about tonight, with 10.6 a game. Signaback scoring 9.6 as well, and then Grace Rothar, she scores 6.7. So that they got some scores on the team. They just got to limit the turnovers and limit shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, those Willard Lady Flashes, as you said, they do have some scorers. They actually are the second best field goal shooting team in the SBC. Just haven't had their way in the matchups they've seen so far this season.
Yeah, it's been a tough draw for the Willard Flashes this year, but there's always a chance. Hayden, as we mentioned, new Huron, maybe new year, new Willard. First game here, coming into the new year, so always a chance to improve, and let's see if they can do it.
And we're going to take a look at those Huron starters. Right now we have Mia Hurst at guard, Ava Weinstaffer, Ella Lamb, Ray Rolden, and Jessica Holzapple rounding them off. And that is going to wrap up our Ebert's pregame as we head towards tip-off. And Huron will take the tip. Cassidy Hammond's going to start things off at the top of the paint. Jaden Sexton dribbling at the top of the paint now. She swings it over. Ava Weinstaffer get a look to kind of reset. Kicks it over to Mia Hurst, who drives in. No good on the layup. And Jessica Holzapple puts up the return layup for two.
Just as we mentioned, Hayden, in the pregame, Willard's going to have to be able to box out a team that crashes the glass like Huron does, and right there, they got the reward with the easy offensive rebound and put back to go.
As you take a look at our Ebert Dental Group replay, a nice job to get those second chance points. And Huron's going to give a little bit of a trap to Willard, who's going to bring it up the court. And it's turned over to the Lady Tigers. Weinstaffer drives in, no good on the layup. Hurst just a little bit too much there on that shot. It's going to be heading back over to the Flashes.
Tigers got pretty decent depth to it scoring. Rolden scored in 7.1, Hurst with 10.9, Weinstaffer with 6.8, or excuse me, 7.2, and then Holzapple with 6.8. So they got a couple scores on this team that if you don't guard them, they're going to heat up pretty quickly.
Huron doing a nice job of cutting off those passing lanes right now for the Lady Flashes. Jaden Sexton looks to drive inside. She puts it up, no good. Ball's going to take a roll off Huron, though, and stick with Willard. Want to welcome everyone in again tonight watching out there. Go ahead and let us know where you're watching. Give us a shout out, as my colleague Travis Berardi would say, and get in that fan zone. And we're going to have our second turnover this evening. Huron's going to go ahead and take possession. Mia Hurst will bring the ball up the court for the Lady Tigers. Weinstaffer to Rolden. And a nice job by Sonvasak there. Get the ball back over in the Lady Flash's hands.
Great play right there from Willard defensively. Having active hands, exactly what a coach wants. Tipping the ball away, forcing the turnover, and getting an opportunity to get on the board here tonight.
So just 2-0, 2 minutes into this first quarter. It's been a defensive strong start so far. And that's a good three-pointer from Grace Hall.
Leading scorer on this team. Sag off, your swag's off, Hayden, and right there, Grace Hall made the defender pay by splashing the three.
And on the other end, Mia Hurst got to go ahead and respond. Those leading scorers going at it right now.
Key tonight's going to be if Willard can draw up a press breaker. I know Huron's not applying that much pressure, but I'm sure they're going to. As soon as they can be able to get that lead, they're going to try to extend it with the defensive play.
So Savancek finds Grace again with pressure, but she's able to maintain the dribble. But her pass is going to be stolen away. And Mia Hurst connects on the transition layup.
All around great play right there from the Huron Lady Tigers, doing it defensively and getting out in transition where they dwell and getting the easy layup for two.
So a bit of an explosion there on offense from both sides here in the last couple of seconds. As number 21, Grace Hall, is going to pick up a foul and head to the line for two. As we take a look at our Ebert Dental Group replay. Just able to draw enough contact for number 25, Ella Lamb.
The only time I've seen Willard this year, Hayden, was against Shelby, and obviously outmatched in that game.
Yeah.
Shelby, one of the better teams, if not the best team in girls basketball that I've seen. They lost that one 75-12, so obviously looking for a different outcome here tonight. Don't want to try to put that repeat performance on the scoreboard.
Certainly, and with that free throw, Willard already up to 5 points on the evening, so on their way to half of that score that they ousted against Shelby. So nonetheless, a learning experience for a Flashes team that is certainly looking to change the tides as Savancek gets a steal. Puts up a jumper from the free throw line. It's going to roll in, and they've taken the lead.
Looks like that's going to be a turnover, too, on Huron. So a little sloppy play from the Tigers, and Willard capitalizing immediately.
Yeah, it takes a roll off Ella Lamb there as you take a look at our replay. And any given night, anything can happen, as we talked about. It might be a cliche, but I think this season has proven sometimes it can go either way. As the Lady Flashes will turn it over. And Ava Weinstaffer finishes a tough layup there.
A little bit of commentator's jinx right there, Hayden. As soon as you started to mention something for Willard,
yep.
Huron immediately responds with a steal of their own. But as we mentioned, with a coaching staff so experienced, like Coach Barry and his bunch, they're going to continue to fight, scratch, and claw any way they can to pick up any kind of wins, and they know how to do it best up here in the SBC.
Grace Hall going to put up another tough layup, no good. Scramble for the rebound. Officials say it will stay with Willard, but you're exactly right, as you said, Garrett. You know, Coach Barry has been around for quite some time. You know, he's a very well-known coach. I believe picked, over that 300 win mark as of last January. So an experienced guy who knows a lot about how to continue growth in a program.
And they continue to feed Grace Hall. Surprised there's no foul call right there. A lot of contact, but nonetheless, Huron pushing the pace the other way and gets it to go off the top of the glass with a little bit of English.
Eliza Maloney. We're going to have another foul down here. Maloney's going to pick up that foul. That'll be her first. Second team foul on Huron. No fouls for the Willard Flashes so far. Huron providing a lot of pressure with this full court trap, making things difficult, but Willard does get it up the court. Good ball movement here. Grace Hall going to put up a three, and she'll splash that home.
Not the girl you want to leave open from downtown, Hayden, right there. She's made two already here early in the first quarter. If they continue to leave her open, she's going to make them pay.
So Maloney going to reset at the top of the key. Weinstaffer puts up a three of her own, no good. Rebound to Willard. And another foul. I believe that's going to go on Jessica Holzapple.
Willard coming out and matching the intensity from Huron here as they try to invade into Willard's home, but so far it's not working. Tie game here from Willard. They're matching them score for score.
Over halfway through our first quarter, and as you said, notched up at 10. So Willard handling the pressure early, and a nice pass. going to head on over to Grace Rothar. She's going to pick up the and one and have a chance to make this a three-point game. You take a look at that beautiful replay. Just floats it up, draws the contact after the shot.
Tremendous pass from Savonsack right there, right into the shooter's pocket. And then Rothar with the awareness to take the contact, get it to go, the follow through, and get the old-fashioned and one play.
So Flashes play with an early lead, up 13-10, 2:50 to go in the first. And those active hands continue, as we talked about, Garrett. Grace Hall already up to 8 points this evening, leading the way. 2 of those coming from the three-point line. Bit of discussion from the officials here. Huron going to remain in possession of the ball as we reset. Mia Hurst going to look to set things up for the Lady Tigers. Thought about a three. And not a ton of movement there, kind of putting Hurst in an isolation situation. Jumper no good and kept alive, but Willard will capitalize off that. And a hop, step, and a jump from Savonsack, but she's going to get hit with a travel, Garrett.
Yeah, I think that was the right call. A little too many steps right there. Smart play, though. She just would have jump stopped right there, regathered. I think she would have been okay, but I think the running after the fact was a little too much with the stripes. Good call there.
A lot of players, I think we've been seeing these moves and Euro steps kind of emerging a lot in high school nowadays, but it's definitely something that does take a little bit of time to pick up, and if not, it's very easy to get picked up on that traveling call. Three-pointer no good from Weinstaffer. Scramble for the ball between McCormick. Willard's going to take possession on that jump ball as you take a look again at the scramble there, so an intense start. Willard looking to expand on this first quarter lead. And the passing lanes have just continued to be open. Jessica Holzapfel got to be on the receiving end of that nice pass and just use that glass.
Flashes are just dicing up the defense with the beautiful passing, too. They're beating that zone that Huron has been trying to perfect here tonight, but so far it's in favor of the Flashes, and Huron can't capitalize at the rim, and that's a frustration foul right there on the Tigers, as Willard now up to a 5-point lead with 1:32 remaining.
Yeah, I think as you take a look at the replay, it's exactly what you said, G. A McCormick frustration foul, and Lady Tigers need to be careful. Their 5th team foul of the quarter already, so one more foul, and the Lady Flashes will be stepping to the line the rest of the first half for a 1-and-1 until they hit that double bonus. Grace Hall with the offensive board. Savonsack with a look, but McCormick's got to come down with the board. Mia Hurst bringing it up for the Lady Tigers. Dumps it off to Weinstaffer, kicks it back. No good on the jumper. Grace Hall going to bring it up for the Lady Flashes as we are under 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Savonsack for three. No good. But Grace Hall's there, kicks it over. And Savonsack will reset with 40 seconds. So now we see a little bit of a slowing down of the pace from Willard. Potentially holding for that last shot, but I also feel the announcer jinx every time this season that myself or Brian has said that, they have elected to just go ahead and go for it.
I think it'd be smart to hold it here, get the last shot, finish the quarter with some momentum. Obviously up 15-10 here. I think they're gonna hold it, Hayden.
It appears they're going to do that. Savonsack dribbling in, kicks it over to the corner to Hall. Tough pass. She's able to corral it. Puts up a wild shot, and it's not going to be good. And that is going to wrap up your first quarter, though. The Willard Lady Flashes, 5-point lead, up 15-10. Keep it here on the OH Report. We'll be back after this quick commercial break with the second quarter. So stay. back inside Haas Gymnasium, second quarter getting underway. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Again, I'm Hayden Gray, joined with Garrett Parlet tonight. As Willard up 15-10 early on, Huron. Three-pointer no good, and Lady Flash is going to be moving with the ball here early to start.
Another opportunity for the Flash to extend their lead to Sandusky. Tremendous passer with another wraparound pass. That one won't go for the Flashes. Huron's going to push the pace.
Bit of a scramble for the ball. That's going to stick with Huron, but as you said, Sandusky, a great passer. Averages 2.9 assists per game. That's good enough for second in the SBC.
Looks like she continues to try to pass the ball first before shooting, always looking for teammates, and that's a great way to play the game of basketball.
Maloney dribbling at the top of the key. Willard doing a nice job of not allowing them to get into the paint, not find those gaps that they'd like. But we're going to get the first foul for the Lady Flashes on the evening. And that's going to be on Sandusky, her first. So Lady Tigers looking to, build on this slow start, get some offense going. They've got the scores as we discussed.
I think it's a credit to Willard's defense here in the first half. They really not let anything easy. That's a nice take right there from Huron to the rack. Going to get fouled, head of the free throw line, and with an easy chance for some free throws here.
Yeah, I think a bit of contact there on Ella Lamb. So it's going to send her to the line for the first free throws of the night for the Lady Tigers. She sinks the first. Huron shoots 62% from the line this season. Second one on the way. No good. Bit of a scramble for the rebound, though. Huron Tigers going to come up with it, and we're going to get our second jump ball of the evening.
Willard fans were pleading for a foul, but they were saying the possession anyway, so regardless.
Yeah, definitely one of those that I think, depending on the officiating crew you have on the night, can go either way. Some will let that transition out a bit more than others. So Huron staying in the zone, but those active hands. Whew. Big blow there, and they're going to hit her with a backcourt violation. That was Ava Weinstaffer, though. What a tremendous effort to grab that ball there, and I think they're going to hit her with the feet. And they hit, Eliza Maloney, when she was coming across, just went too much backcourt.
Yeah, shout out to the effort and the hustle right there, because that was a tremendous play defensively to reach out there and try to grab that ball. But good call from the ref. Obviously, it's a tough one to call after a play like that.
Certainly, and Tigers are going to keep up the effort. They just can't hang on to these steals that they're forcing the Lady Flashes to turn over right now. Bit of a stalemate. Grace Hall in the corner swings it over to Sandusky. She's been liking that area of the court tonight, but hasn't got one to fall yet. Weinstaffer a little bit too much, but Maloney got to pick up the foul and be heading to the line for two more. As you take a look, Grace Hall just a bit too much contact there.
Well, Hayden, it wouldn't be a broadcast that I'm on without mentioning Grace Hall looked like she did swipe down, so obviously refs are going to call that, Hayden. Probably 10 times out of 10, one of the things I learned when I was growing up playing basketball from a very generous coach from the school I graduated from, and me and Storm typically reference that every single time, so I thought I'd at least, bring you in, swoop you in, and kind of show you that. So good call from the Stripes. Never want to swipe down, always want to swipe up. Refs will typically call the swipe down probably 10 times out of 10.
Yes, a great bit of education there from G-Man himself. Lady Flash is still moving at a bit of a slower pace here in the second quarter. Still looking, I think they're looking for those right passing lanes as Huron elects to stay in the zone. Kicks it over. And that's going to be good.
Great play right there from Sandusky, pushing into the defense and then kicking it out for the easy mid-range jumper. She's been doing it all night, and right there they converted.
No look pass from Weinstaffer. Three-pointer no good. Savonsak thought about a three, but she's going to go ahead and dish it off. Kyla Garb swings it back to Savonsak. So Willard, I think, content here using some of that time. You know, I mentioned it a few times on other broadcasts I've talked on our podcast. You know, we all discussed the shot clock in high school and just exactly what our thoughts on that were. And this is one of those situations where Willard taking advantage of having a lead and just being able to work that clock if the Huron Lady Tigers are not going to move up and pressure them.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that Willard, they like their ability to pass the ball. Savonsak pulls up a three, not going to get it to go, and Huron with another chance in transition.
Mia Hurst going to take it all the way, but Savonsak gets a hand on it, cleanly strips it, and she comes down with the board herself. Just a tremendous effort. Not one of the tallest girls out there on the court, so great effort from her. In and out from Jaden Sexton on the other end. Hurst moving it up the floor quick. Gets it stripped again by Savonsak, and Willard's going to maintain possession.
What a defensive effort from Savonsak on both trips, and then a tremendous pass down low. And thought that was another pass. I actually thought it was a shot, Hayden. At the first glance, thought there was going to be a foul call, but
yeah,
looks like the ball was a little errant throw out of bounds, and Huron, another chance to cut in the lead.
Yeah, Mackenzie Schaefer's just went a bit out of bounds. Hurst still finding it difficult to get points down in that paint. Then Cassidy Hammond's going to pick up another foul, maybe a bit of frustration again from the Lady Tigers.
It's just excellent defense from Willard. They're playing with their hands up. They're not jumping. They're not trying to block the shots. They're playing straight up defense and really not putting any kind of contact into the offensive players. We're going to get a timeout call, I believe, from Huron.
So while we have a chance during this timeout, 17-12, and Garrett, you know, based off what we talked about before the game, even though this year I think we've learned that what's on paper may not always tell the full tale, what do you think has been the biggest struggle for Huron so far here in this early going, you know, halfway through the second quarter?
Well, it's been really a credit to Willard's defense. They've shut them down as soon as they got the opportunities, and it's been great transition defense, especially as soon as Huron gets it passed up the floor to Savonsak's there to tip the ball, or other players like Grace Hall. So Willard obviously sitting at 2-9, not the record they want to be, but they do step out of their conference and play very tough teams, especially Shelby. I mean, they're one of the better teams, and that's just an example of one. I mean, there's many more, but not the schedule they want, but they're going to try to turn their season around, and it'd be a big win tonight against Huron.
Yeah, and, you know, just 3 seniors in the starting lineup. Sexton, Rothar, and Hall. They're going to return Savonsak next year, so it's always exciting when you can see a junior performing at the level that she is right now. Deep three-point attempt. No good. Just every part of the rim and still found its way out. Savonsak's going to be hit with her second foul on the evening. So Lady Tigers still having a difficult time scoring tonight. We'll see what they can do on this possession. Drive to the lane from Eliza Maloney, and she's going to have 2 more. So far, I believe free throws have been the biggest vessel of offense for these Lady Tigers here in the first half.
Yeah, I believe they've had 2 attempts at the free throw line, and they knocked down both of them, and it's been their only 2 points of this quarter. They've struggled here mightily, but their defense has helped them out. Willard only up 5 points still, so still an opportunity for Huron to continue to cut in that lead, and that's going to help, now down to 4 points.
So Maloney knocks that down. It's going to be her 4th point of the evening. And as you said, you know, I think the dominance of Willard's defense so far in the early going has made the arena kind of feel like they're winning by more than they are. Those Lady Tigers got to remember pending this free throw. Just a 3-point game, 1-possession game.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's a bigger deficit for Huron, but it's only 3 points. It's 1 possession, so they can get a stop here defensively. They've had the opportunities in transition. They just haven't been able to convert, and if they can convert those, they should be out to a big lead.
Missed shot opportunity. Grace Hall gets a second chance look. Not going to be able to put it in. Back to Huron. And Hurst shows that speed, moves it up court, goes coast to coast. Count it in the bucket.
Tremendous take right there from Hurst into the teeth of the defense. Took the contact and gets the and 1 shot to go. Now heading to the free throw line to see if she can make it a 3-point play.
You take a look at that. Fights through the contact. Hurst has an opportunity to tie this one back up, bring the fire back to the Lady Tigers. No good, but offensive board goes to Maloney. They're going to leave Hurst wide open, and she's going to drive. No good, just too much power. Grace Hall going to move the ball up the court, kicks it over to Savon Sack. They leave Hall open in the corner. She puts it up. No good. Rebound opportunity, not good as well. Grace Hall gets the third. So a tough last few minutes for the Lady Flashes, just not able to get one to fall. And Maloney, scrappy play from the Lady Tigers, going to the line again.
One of the things we discussed, Hayden, in the pregame, one of the keys of the game for Huron was getting transition. We've seen countless amounts of time. They've been in the transition. They just haven't been able to convert, but now getting some contact and now heading the free throw line stops the clock and gets an opportunity to take the lead here and make it 18-17.
Just a couple misses for them from the charity strike tonight, so as she hits the first, the Lady Tigers will regain the lead. First time since the first quarter.
Now 5-0 run here for Huron. Momentum beginning to swing in their favor. See if they can continue to finish this one out before the half.
So Ella Lamb will check back in for the Lady Tigers. Second one good from Maloney. She's up to 7 points on the night, leads the way for the Lady Tigers. 2:20 left to go here in the second quarter. Deep three-point attempt, no good again for the Lady Flashes. Mariah Sloan. Hurst swinging it over to Maloney, and whew.
Threading the needle right there. Tremendous pass from Hurst down to Maloney. And she banks it in. And now a three-point lead for Huron. Another tip pass. Willard's got to be very careful. Now Huron's pressing up and trying to get some steals.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to see it go in that hoop for a little bit of momentum. Huron got to bring it down again. Swing to Maloney. No good. Kicks it back out to Maloney. They'll reset. Some exciting play from the Lady Tigers here late in the second quarter. Maloney's looking for her. She does find her. Open three-point attempt, no good. And Grace Hall and the Lady Flashes back down the other way. Ball stripped, though, by Hurst. And who's going to come up with it? The Lady Tigers. Ella Lamb driving, kicks it back out. Maloney left alone at the top of the key. No good, and that's going to hit the wire. So first little break in the action here in what feels like about the last minute 20.
Looks like we're going to get a timeout call. 30-second one from Willard. But as you mentioned, back and forth affair there for the last couple of minutes, and Huron went, I believe, an 8-0 run to really take the lead here. Now up 3 points, and now with the momentum on their side. So we'll see what Willard can do here before the half. You always want to go in the half with some momentum. It would be huge if Willard can get the lead again and continue to build on this game.
Yeah, you took another look at that beautiful pass from Hurst on our Ebert's Dental Group replay. So a little bit of trial here for the Lady Flashes, something they have seen this year, though. So a good opportunity for us to see how they respond to close out the half in this last minute here against a quality opponent.
I think Willard's going to get back to giving it to Savon Sack and then letting her penetrate into the defense and then kick out the shooters like Grace Hall and others, because that was really their bread and butter there in the first and then the early second quarter. See if they go back to that kind of offensive style.
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet from Savon Sack. We'll see if they elect to let her get back to doing her thing as they swing it over to her. Another beautiful pass and one opportunity, not going to fall. Nonetheless, Grace Rothar's going to go to the line. Take a look at the replay there. So both teams now with 50 seconds left in the single 1-and-1 bonus. First shot, no good, just a bit too short. And Savon Sack actually going to take a seat, what would likely be for the rest of the half as Jaden Sexton comes in. Eliza Maloney will check back in for Jessica Holzapple. Second shot good from Grace Rothar, and we're back to a 2-point game. Lady Tigers move the ball up quick. 3-point attempt, good from Ava Weinstaffer. Gonna send this one up to a 5-point lead.
Some great passing on both sides of the floor, and especially Huron on that last possession right there, just swinging the ball around and getting a three-pointer right there.
So the Lady Tigers, quite the momentum shift here in the second quarter. Lady Flashes still have time for a couple of looks. Swinging the ball around. Grace Rothar up, no good. Ball tipped, and they're going to say that went off the Lady Flashes, so we'll take a closer look at that. Does look potentially like Cassidy Hammond's got the upper hand on Hurst, but in that situation, got to send the ball back to the Lady Tigers. And with 10 seconds, they'll probably hold. There's a bit too much butter on that one from Hurst, or from Maloney, excuse me. Hurst tried her best to hang on to that one. Going to give the Lady Flashes a chance to make this a one-possession game heading into the half. Savon Sack will bring it up the court. 5 seconds to go. Hits Hall in the corner. 1 second to go. And Grace Hall, what a shot. The Willard Flashes cut it to a 2-point game right before half. And that is going to wrap up the first half as you take a look one more time. What a pass from Savon Sack to find Hall. Just able to get that one nothing but net. And that is going to be all the first half has to offer. So you're watching live and free basketball on the OH.Report. Stick with us. We're going to talk about some stats coming up at the half.
We go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
The exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
Welcome back to Bob Hass Gymnasium. Huron Lady Tigers, Willard Lady Flashes. Lady Tigers lead 23-21. I'm Hayden Gray. That's my man Garrett Parlett. And we're going to dive into a little bit of these halftime statistics, break down exactly what happened for you there in this first half, find out why is it so close. So the Lady Tigers, 4 field goals, 2 3-pointers, 12 boards on the half, 7 fouls, 10 turnovers, and they've shot 6 of 8 from the line, so a lot of free throws coming from them. The Lady Flashes have just 3 field goals, but they have hit 4 threes. Grace Hall hitting a couple of those herself, especially that one to end the half there, make it a 1-possession game. 11 rebounds, 7 fouls, 8 turnovers, and 3 of 6 from the line. Garrett, if you had to pick a statistic or two that sticks out to you the most from one side or the other here this first half, what would you choose?
I think it's the 3-point shooting from Willard. They got 4 on the night. I think 2 of those are from Grace Hall, and the majority of their offenses come from Savon Sack pushing the ball into the paint, and then those wraparound passes. She's hit a couple of them outside to Grace Hall. She's knocked down a couple threes tonight from the corner. So they got away from that a little late in the first quarter, or excuse me, the second quarter, and that's when Huron was able to get that momentum. I believe they went on an 11-2 run to close the second quarter, and they took the lead. Now up 2 points, 23-21. So I think Willard's got to get back to that with turning the ball over and then get back in transition defense how they were in the first quarter, and then they might be able to pull it off.
Yeah, the Willard Lady Flashes certainly have proven that, record doesn't always reflect what you can bring to the table on any given night. Just 2-9 on the season, but we are nearing that second half of conference play and a chance to see a lot of these teams again that may have gotten the better half of you the first time. So Lady Flashes going to look together to put another complete second half, try and narrow that gap and find their way to victory this evening. Huron Lady Tigers going to look to hold on. But as I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a look and welcome you to the fan zone. Let's see who's out there this evening, who's letting us know. Linda Montgomery, go Lady Flashes, watching at home in Willard. Good to have you, Linda. McKenny Stevens, go Flashes. Watching from Afghanistan, go. Sorry for my silence. I'm watching from Afghanistan, go Flashes. That is great. We are so happy to see you. Let's go Lady Flashes from Alyssa Gibson. Watching from Louisiana, go Flashes number 3. Always happy to hear where you're watching from around the country. So as we said, fan zone's going to be open all second half, so leave us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. We want to hear from you. But that's going to wrap things up for the Ebert's Dental Group halftime show. We're going to take one last quick break. We'll be back, talk about the leading scores for a few minutes, and then we will be right back into the second half. You're watching high school basketball live and free on the OH.Report. Welcome into the second half. Live from Willard High School, Bob Hass Gymnasium, Huron Lady Tigers leading the Willard Lady Flashes 23-21. I'm Hayden Gray. Alongside me is Garrett Parlett. Garrett, what are you looking to see from the Huron Lady Tigers here in the second half?
Well, continue to do what they did in the second quarter, and that's not going to help their case right there as they do turn the ball over. And then, wow, what a block right there. Thought there was going to be a travel call, but Willard retains the possession. But just continue to do what they were doing, forcing some Willard turnovers, getting in the transition really was their bread and butter. And if they do that, they should be able to walk out of here with a win.
Yeah, so Ava Weinstaffer with that big block as you brought up, making it tough in the paint. Ella Lamb showing that length and size as well. As the Lady Tigers go to retain the ball.
curious what to see Huron does here in the half-court set. Haven't seen them in a lot of half-court situations. Been most of their points coming at the foul line or in the transition.
So Willard again doing a nice job cutting off those passing lanes. Huron's got a reset with Hurst at the top. Lady Tigers, you know, looking for a different variety of ways to get those points tonight. Maybe a bit out of the norm, but whatever's working for you on the night, continue to look for those. That's going to be a foul. That's going to go ahead and go on the Lady Flashes, Grace Rothar. So you take a look at our Ebert Dental Group replay. Just too much contact there on that arm of Ella Lamb, and that's going to send her to the line.
Seen Huron knock down a boatload of free throw opportunities too. I believe they were 6 of 8 there in that first half. So making the most of the opportunity, and that's exactly what you want as a coach.
So first shot is good for Huron. Second one good, so Huron back up to a 4-point game. Savonsak bringing it up for the Lady Flashes. We're going to have a push. Let's see who this is called on. It's going to go on Mia Hurst. Lady Flash is going to retain the ball. That is just her second foul of the evening. Savonsak inbounds in the backcourt. So it's been a quiet night from Ray Roldan, but providing some nice defense there on Savonsak, and now we're going to have another push. They're going to hit Grace Hall, so Huron going to get the ball back. Bit of a physical start here to this third quarter. Hurst kicks it back up top. Chris Schaefer into the lane, but that ball's going to slip away from her. And Willard's going to regain possession, so turnovers and fouls have been the early part of this first 2 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah, a little sloppy play here out of the halftime locker room. So both teams need to regather, get their feet back underneath them, and come out here and see if they can get some points on the board, see if they can pull away.
So the zone boating a little bit more success for the Huron here, but look at that pass.
What a laser right there for Savonsak down the Hammonds, I believe that was, who had the easy opportunity. Just a tremendous pass down low. She's been showing off, threading the needle all night long. A nice take right there on the other end.
So Mia Hurst and Savonsak from the Lady Flashes continue to display why they are two of those leaders out there for both respective squads. Definitely a high level of play out there this evening. Some pressure on Savonsak. Just a bit too much of a lob to Grace Hall. It's going to be intercepted. But then Savonsak getting her hands right back on it. Got to send it back to the Lady Flashes.
It's kind of been the story of the entire night, Hayden. One team neither team really wants to pull away. They just kind of keep hanging around. One team will go on a run, and then the other will respond and go on a run of their own. It's going to be that team that really can put the foot on the gas pedal that's going to pull away from this one.
Three-pointer no good from Savonsak, but all offensive board for the Lady Flashes. And I think you're exactly right, Garrett. I feel like that's been the narrative at a lot of games I've been at this year. Neither team able to pull away. Another offensive board for Willard, though, and that's going to be good by Cassidy Hammonds.
Hammonds right there, right place, right time. Ball fell right into her lap and had an easy layup opportunity and made it count.
So Willard giving Huron a bit of space. Grace Hall doing a nice job guarding Hurst. They'll reset at the top. Weinstaffer steps back, nice pass to Hurst, and she's going to lay it off the glass for two.
Hurst, the leading scorer, not only here tonight, Hayden, but on the year. She's probably the best player here on this Huron team. They got to continue to feed her in the second half so they have a chance to pull away and walk out here with a win.
Hurst with 9 points so far this evening, leading the way for the Lady Tigers. Savonsack drops it down into the paint, and that's going to be good. Grace Rothar. So both teams going back and forth now. And on the other end, Ava Weinstaffer going to pick up another 2. We're still notched at a 4-point game.
Got to get back on defense. There it was again. Not a full transition opportunity, but they pushed the pace. I think they found something in Willard's defense that they can exploit in the transition.
Yeah, you can definitely feel a difference out here in the way Huron's playing with a bit more confidence. As Hurst is going to snatch another board tonight. It's going to be a deep 3-point attempt, no good from Weinstaffer. I believe they're going to hit Jessica Holzapple with a foul down low. We take another look. They battled in the paint, and again, got to watch those fouls down in the paint.
Good box out right there. I believe that one was from Hammonds. She's had a pretty good impact here in the third quarter. Has got a couple buckets, and then great play right there to get the defender on her back and force basically to jump over top in the foul call from the refs.
So Lady Flash is trying their best to not let this one get away from them. They want to keep it as close as possible. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A quick third period here. Savonsack will reset. Kicks it out the hall. She's going to pull up. No good. Big block there. And Weinstaffer going to finish off the play. And that is going to bring a timeout coming from the bench of Willard. I believe they will take a full timeout. Should take another look at that block and the finish.
And she's hyped up as she was heading to the huddle, and rightfully so after a big play like that. Swatting that thing out of here, and then not only getting the defensive play, Hayden, getting the rebound and then pushing the pace, getting the easy layup on the other end and making this a 6-point deficit for the Willard Flashes.
Yeah, I think the Lady Tigers have begun to find their groove on the evening. Coach Schaefer was a boys JV coach for over a decade, and I believe just a year or two possibly, but I believe a year ago became the head coach for this ladies squad. So finally getting that jump to a head coaching position, but a guy who brings a lot of experience, and you can tell these Lady Tigers are hungry. You know, we've talked a lot about looking for that winning season, looking to get back to competing for conference championships. And, you know, we've been seeing that level of play from them thus far this year, but Willard giving them a run for their money here at Bob Hass Gymnasium this evening.
And Willard, another record doesn't reflect it. We've talked about it a couple times tonight, but another good team here in the SBC, but just not going to be able to amount to the kind of record they've had the past few years. Obviously, losing a huge senior class will do that to you, but this will be a huge win for Huron, not only for this year, but for this program going forward.
Yeah, as you said, you know, the level of play Willard has shown tonight would make this a really nice win for them. Savonsack's going to turn the ball over, and we reflected on Willard's record last season, 21-4. Now, obviously, they do not return all the starters from that same roster, but nonetheless have gotten the upper hand of Huron for the last 2 games and seasons past. So Huron would like to kind of take that step up the ladder.
Anytime you can beat a conference rival, and especially a team that like Willard that has basically picked on you the last couple of years, in the latter half of this decade, it's really been Willard in this conference that's been the powerhouse. And Huron looking to change that and looking to have their first winning season since 2014-15 where they went 11-10.
So Savonsack gets some space. She's going to pull up for 3. No good. Excuse me, a little bit premature. That's going to fall. Cy Savonsack adds a 3-point to the resume tonight, but then Hurst put him in a blender, G-Man.
Looking like a teacup at the carnival, Hayden, right there. What a tremendous spin move. Putting them in the spin cycle and then finishing with the easy English off the backboard for 2.
So offense starting to find its groove. Both teams playing at their high levels. Going to have some substitutions. So Kaylin McCormick and Carissa Schaefer get a check in as Hurst and Ella Lamb take a much-deserved break. 50 ticks left to go here in the third quarter.
We've seen Willard the last time they had this opportunity basically melt the clock down all the way to the final shot, and they weren't rewarded there. So let's see if they change up their play style and see if they can get a bucket here. But Grace Hall is going to take a little too many steps, get the travel call, and now Huron with the opportunity to finish the quarter.
Just one too many steps down there in the paint trying to get a look, and we'll see on the opposite side if the Lady Tigers elect to hold for the final shot. Coach Fall stand up saying, "Go Lady Flashes, let's go for 20 points this game." And those Huron Lady Tigers well on their way, already on their way over 20 points. Carissa Schaefer going to get her first bucket of the evening. 8 seconds left for the Flashes. Savonsack drives very similar to that second quarter play. Looking for Grace Hall in this corner nearest to us now. Really makes me nervous when she drives that baseline like that, G-Man. Not sure how she's going to fit that pass in just a little bit too much that time.
She's done it all night, but that one not going to get it to go, and will be a turnover now. Huron with an opportunity. Got to get something quick here, though.
They kick it up. Got to get a look before the buzzer. Impressive job by Huron to move it up. That one just going to be a bit too much. And that is going to wrap up our third quarter live and free here from Willard High School. The Lady Tigers lead 37 over the Lady Flashes 30. Keep it right here for the fourth quarter, live and free on the OH.Report. Back here from Bob Hass, fourth quarter, and that means what exactly? What time is it, Garrett?
It's money time.
Money time here from Bob Hass. We're going to see if the Willard Lady Flashes can make a run and come back, or if the Lady Tigers from Huron will hold on to this lead. Fourth quarter action coming at you.
I believe that's money time action coming at you, Hayden.
Yeah. Excuse me, we don't know what the fourth quarter is here on the OH.Report. It's strictly money time. Welcome in if you're just joining us. Hayden Gray alongside me, Garrett Parlett, and it's raining money here as the points continue to fall for both sides.
Huron had a couple good moves there late in the third quarter to extend their lead up to 7, but Willard not going away. Continue to push the pace and see if they can get some opportunities offensively, but the defense is going to step it up. Huron has been able to get some easy looks at the rim here in the second half.
And that they will get not an easy look. That's going to roll up McCormick with the offensive board, and she will pick up the foul. So a couple missed looks there from the Tigers, but McCormick's going to sit down in that paint. Picks up the foul.
Let me ask you something, Hayden.
Yeah.
What did the defender do on that play to get the foul call?
Oh, boy. See, now
roll the replay.
I believe it's a swipe down.
Swipe down. It's a swipe down. I'm telling you.
I learned something there. Even despite all the things running through my head, I was able to remember to swipe down. So obviously, G-Man, a man of the words, able to get that to stick one in my brain. As McCormick
now
hits the second.
I might add, I was a 5th and 6th grade basketball coach when I was in high school, and then we did go 0-18. So I don't know how much my basketball knowledge goes, but I think that one is pretty clear that is solid. That's a solid, word of advice, but I did go 0-18 as a coach. I have to admit it. I had to get that off my chest. It was actually me and Storm. So
I mean, tremendous. You know, this is new knowledge to me, but just obviously some tremendous knowledge to pick up as Huron's going to turn over the ball. But, gee, man, I think we're in the perfect place. You know, if you ever want to reopen that coaching career, I think there's someone in the building tonight, the court actually named after him, that I'm sure would love to share some tips with you and Storm. That is, of course, the legendary Coach Bob Hass. As Sandusky brings the court up for the Lady Flashes. Active hands from the Lady Tigers again. They're going to turn the ball over. And quickly up the court. But they're going to hit Carissa Schaefer with a travel. So turnovers continue to be a killer here.
I think that was a correct call there. Don't believe she even dribbled as soon as she caught the ball, so too many steps there for Huron offensively. And the door is still open here, Hayden, for Willard.
And a nice block there from Ava Weinstaffer, shutting that door just a bit, but obviously 6 minutes left to go on money time, so still an opportunity. Weinstaffer going to dribble the ball. She swings it over. Kyla Garb going to go ahead and reset stuff. And Weinstaffer again takes it to the hole. Not enough on the layup, but gets her own rebound. Ball's going to take a bounce and head towards the direction of the Lady Flashes.
Big substitution here for Huron. I believe they got the starters back on the floor trying to close this one out with 5:51 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Almost said, or no, I did say fourth quarter. I meant money time, Hayden.
Oh, boy.
I got to get that out of my vocabulary.
This is just what happens when G-Man gets paired up with good old Hayden here. But as you said, those starters got to re-enter for the Lady Tigers, and just too much on that pass from Sandusky.
It's been tough to get a bucket here in the second half for Willard. I believe they only have 7 through the third, and then here obviously in the early fourth, 5:30 remaining. Still a lot of time left, but down 9 points when your offense has been struggling. Time is going to begin to become a factor here shortly if Huron continues to fill up the bucket.
Yeah, offensive production has certainly slowed down, and they're going to have another chance, though, to get things going as Huron going to pick up another turnover there. Both teams with 7 turnovers so far in the second half. So a quiet night points-wise from Sandusky, but the impact she provides with her passing is tremendous. She will put up a shot there and draw a foul. Take a look at our Ebert Dental Group replay. Draws a bit of contact there. Willard just a 50.9% free throw averaging as a team.
These are the opportunities you don't want to, obviously miss on. Stops the clock too, and you get an opportunity to cut into a deficit. Sandusky averaging almost 10 points a game, only sitting at 5, so almost there, but they're going to need a little bit more offense out of her here if they want to pull this off.
So she will knock down the second, and she's going to take a quick seat. Jaden Sexton going to check in for her. Weinstaffer's going to bring the ball up the court. Swings it over to Roldan. Hurst connects on the pass. You can see the tempo shifting a bit with those substitutes in there, fresh off the bench. Continuing to wait for that look that they like. They will find it, but it's going to be no good. And Hurst looks to keep it in. Roldan right there at the same time, though. It's going to take a bounce and head back to Willard. Grace Hall going to bring the ball up the court for the Lady Flashes. 4:35 left to go here. 8-point game. Lady Flashes have trailed most of the second half. That one will stick with the Lady Flashes.
Good defense there from Huron. Not reaching over top of the defender, just knocking the ball out of bounds and seeing if they can get another defensive stop.
Quick drive from the Lady Flashes, no good. Offensive board, though. It's going to be a jump ball as McKinley Schaefer fought for that one. So possession going to stay with Willard. Nice job by Schaefer there because that could end up being rather crucial. With 4 minutes left to go, they need to take advantage of the possessions that they have.
Desperately needing a bucket. See if Willard goes down to their best scorer in Grace Hall, and that's exactly what they do. Just can't get it to go. It's going to hit at the top. Russ going to signal Huron ball, so time beginning to melt away here on Willard. Only an 8-point deficit, but you can only score 31 points so far. You got to take advantage of every opportunity you can get.
That's going to be a turnover, so the Lady Tigers continuing to keep that door open with the turnovers. They're 8th on the half. Lady Flashes, you know, being granted these opportunities, but as we've mentioned, the second half hasn't had quite the success that the first half did present. Grace Hall's going to drive into the lane. Kicks it inside. Back out the Hall. Grace Rothar kicks it out. Mariah Sloan puts it up. No good on the layup. The Lady Tigers and Mia Hurst are going to slow things down here a bit. Swings it over to Roldan. Three-pointer good from Roldan. A big shot that's going to extend the lead out to 11, and that's going to be a Willard timeout.
It's Roldan's first bucket of the night, and it couldn't have came at a more crucial time right there, Hayden. Knocking that one down, now making a double-digit lead with 3:20 remaining. Willard's got to hurry up, pick up the pace, because time is now obviously not in your favor.
Yeah, you know, a big shot there from Roldan, especially with the height and the hand of Grace Hall. They list her at 6 foot in your face, so a nice job by her, and I'm sure Coach Barry, you know, needs to take advantage of this timeout, needs to explain the importance of, look, ladies, you know, we only have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, so it's now or never, and a win to start off the new year, I'm sure, is what they would exactly like to do.
And now for Huron, you don't want to force anything, and you want to try to burn as much time as you can, because obviously it's working for you here late in the fourth quarter. Excuse me, late in money time. But don't want to force anything up. That was a great shot. It was tremendous penetration from Hurst, and then kicking it out to Roldan, who was wide open in the corner for three. And that's exactly what you want out of an offense here in money time.
So officials signal them to rejoin them on the floor. Willard with just one timeout left remaining. Huron with 5. Both teams with 4 fouls. So the bonus not in effect for anyone yet. Willard's going to need to look to play a bit of a clean game, avoid those frustration fouls if they want to keep Huron out of that bonus. Mariah Sloan brings the ball up for the Lady Flashes. Kicks it over to Sexton. Nice defense there, and Ava Weinstaffer comes away with the steal. Hurst slowing things down again. Kicks it back to Weinstaffer. And hit with a travel again on the jump stop, having some difficulties with, honestly, having some difficulties with trying to chew away that clock, Garrett.
Yeah, that's something you never want to do. You never want to try to leave your feet to make a pass. And she went for the jump stop and slid a little bit. So now the door's still open here for Willard, but they have to move very quickly. I believe they only have 8 points to their name here heading in the second half.
Yeah, going to need Grace Hall to be that senior leader and knock down a couple more three-pointers if they want to make this one close. Savonsak did check back in after that timeout. Ball takes a wild bounce. Huron's got to come up with it. Roldan swings it to Weinstaffer, and she will bring it across the half-court line. Sloan with some tough defense there. Pass is coming off with a lot of power for the Lady Tigers. But they are taking a considerable amount of time off, and those Lady Flash is going to need to kind of get closer, go for that ball a little bit more. Mariah Sloan's going to pick up a foul. That's going to be team 5th, her first. McKinley Schaefer going to take a seat. So Hurst and the Lady Tigers going to look to eat as much clock as possible. 11-point game. The Willard Flashes need to force some pressure and some turnovers. Hurst looking for a pass, but Willard doing a nice job defending, but need to look to do exactly that. Huron's 10th turnover of the half.
Now you got to try to go to your best play or your best player here and get a three-point shot here to make this now single digits, but a little harder than it sounds, Hayden, especially with the defense Huron's playing here in the second half.
Yeah, trailing by 11, they're going to need to look to score just about every 10 seconds. Now, don't quote me on that. I am not a mathematician. And that's going to be a walk, and that is not what you're looking for if you're Coach Barry.
Barring any kind of miracle here, that probably should wrap things up here if Huron could just get this ball past the half-court line and not turn it over. But Willard still trying to get some steals here. Late in this game, we're going to get a timeout from Huron, his staff.
So as you said, Huron going to go ahead and take a timeout. Didn't want to turn the ball over. I would like to bring attention to tomorrow, the 59th annual J.C. Gorman Invitational hosted by Mansfield Senior High School. Unfortunate news earlier this week. Spectators told not allowed to come just due to the recent surge in COVID cases, but lucky for you, we are going to be present in the building, and we will be bringing you coverage later in the afternoon of the finals. So we will not be live due to some school restrictions, but we will be shortly coming up with that after the finals finish up. So we will have phenomenal commentary, interviews with the champions. So you're not going to want to miss that one. Again, that's tomorrow. Look for that sometime in the mid-afternoon to evening. So Mia Hurst kicks it over to Maloney. Rolling at a dribble, and don't know what was said in that timeout if you're Willard, but electing not to foul, I think, Garrett, they've reached that same reality we have up here, and noticing that's going to be enough to get the job done for the Lady Tigers this evening.
Yeah, big win here on the road, too. Coming into Willard on a Friday night, obviously, it's still a tough Willard team. It's hard to go into somebody's building and beat them, and Huron showed out tonight, especially in the second half, defensively shutting them down.
Especially after the early first quarter, always when you take a look at what both teams are doing on the year and you come up with these expectations of how a game should play out, obviously, different scenario here this evening. Lady Flashes did a nice job sticking with them, but just not able to get it done. Coach Barry will have some things that are some upsides and some downsides on that film, but that is going to do it, folks. The Huron Lady Tigers going to remain undefeated in conference play. Willard's going to fall to 1-4 in conference play. The Lady Tigers victorious 42-31. Stick around, though, because we are going to have an MVP interview with our player of the game and final stats coming up live and free right here on the OH.Report.
Here we go now.
Listen, the exclamation point on the night for Maurice Ware.
back here with our Ebert Dental Group Player of the Game. That will be the Huron Lady Tigers, Mia Hurst. Mia, big night for you tonight offensively, 11 points. A very high-paced game out there this evening. You found a lot of those lanes tonight. Tell me what was clicking for you offensively and how you were able to get, over that double-digit amount tonight.
I took it to the rim, tried to get a foul every time, and yeah, I just had to take it to them.
Obviously, it was tied up after the first quarter. Willard has, for the last couple of years and last season been a pretty large powerhouse in the SBC. So far this year, though, you're kind of on different sides of things. You ladies haven't lost yet in the conference. What has that meant for you this season? What's been clicking for you girls and Coach Schaefer so far this year?
We all compete. That's all we want to do this year, and we're trying to do our best, and we have been. Yeah,
looking to have, that first winning season for quite some time. What's a short-term goal just to finish out the second half of the season, and if there's any future goals for you ladies into the postseason, is there anything specifically you would like to accomplish or as a team?
As a team, I know we're trying to beat Margaretta, which we play Monday. We're all trying to compete with them, and then Oak Harbor.
Certainly, and those are two, very good teams as well. You guys are right up there with them. And finally, we always like to give a chance to give shout-outs, so if you want to, you can go ahead and look right in that camera and give right here and give anyone you want to a shout-out.
Shout out to my coach Schaefer.
That's awesome. Yes, Coach Schaefer, obviously a phenomenal guy, and that's going to do it for our player of the game. Again, Mia Hurst, victorious tonight over the Lady Flashes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and take one last final break, and then we will be back down to break down those final stats for you. Keep watching right here on the OH.Report.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
All right, we're back here to wrap things up from Bob Hass Gymnasium, Hayden Gray and Garrett Parlett. And let's break down those final statistics for you on the evening as we dive into those. So again, the Huron Lady Tigers victorious 42-31. Rebounds 22 for Huron, won the battle there, 18 for the Lady Flashes. Turnovers fairly even, 19 for Huron, 17 for Willard. Everything squared even at fouls, 11 apiece. Willard was able to knock down a handful of threes. Huron did get on the board with 3 as well. Field goals got to go over to the Lady Tigers, 13. Lady Flashes just 9. And then free throw attempts, none coming for the Lady Flashes in the second half. Huron goes 9 from 11 for the night, so that's going to be the tell of the tale. Garrett, what do you think was the most dominating stat for the Lady Tigers to go ahead and get this done tonight?
I really think the biggest discrepancy there was it really wasn't, I guess, Huron doing too much. It was just Willard. They couldn't really make the most of their opportunities. They had the shots, but they just couldn't get it to go. And then the second half, I believe they only had either 8 or 9 points. So the offense really just went cold. A credit to Huron's defense. And the Tigers, man, they came out in the second half. They asserted the dominance. They forced a boatload of Willard turnovers and got it done here on the road.
Certainly. So Huron Lady Tigers are going to stay undefeated in conference play. Willard will fall to 1-4. Definitely some tough games up next, as you heard, for both sides in our post-game interview. But that is going to wrap things up from us tonight. But before we go, I do want to remind you, we do have the J.C. Gorman tomorrow. So sometime in the afternoon, watch. We'll either be live or we'll have some highlights of that. Or we will not be live. We'll either delay playback or have some highlights of that for you. We will also have the Mansfield Christian Lady Flames at the Lucas Lady Cubs at 1 p.m. So you can catch that on our main channel. And then we'll have the Shelby Whippets at Ashland. The boys taking on the Arrows at 7:30, a big non-conference showdown. So tune into both of those tomorrow. That will officially wrap things up for us, because we got flying gummy worms here. So I want to thank everyone here with me tonight. Adam Thompson, my director, Garrett Parlett, amazing camera op and color commentator. All of our sponsors, which Ebert's Dental Group, shout out to you, because you basically sponsor everything we can sponsor, so we want to thank them. Sutton Bank and Frito-Lay, our commercial sponsors. And then, of course, I want to thank Brian Skoronsky and Jory Hollenbeck back in Mansfield. But thank you again for tuning in, wrapping things up from Willard. Until the next live stream, we will see you later. Signing out.